Margolese Design for Living Prize recognizes the contributions of the design professions that are fundamentally a part of SALA: architecture, landscape architecture, urban design. We looked across the world, across the country, looking for a Canadian designer whose work and practice impacts the lives of people wherever they are, whatever they're doing, in any place, in any scale that was important. SALA is delighted to share the Margolese Design for Living Prize with the 2022 winner, Jane Wolff. There are many excellent design prizes and awards that recognize the quality of design in a project. The Margolese Prize sets out to do something slightly different. We want to elevate awareness of a designer like Jane, whose work might be harder to see, but at the same time elevates the qualities of life of people and places and the environment. We were particularly struck by Jane's ability to demonstrate how design enables, but it also demonstrated how design can empower people who aren't designers.
When I was in graduate school and when I worked in practice, the idea was to design a place, like to design a set of artifacts. And it turns out that what I wound up doing is what I think I would call trying to design a conversation, not to design an outcome. What I hope my work does is to help people not take landscapes for granted. And I hope it helps them see things that are often hidden in plain sight. My first book, Delta Primer, A Field Guide to the California Delta, is a book and a deck of cards. The suits are 4 ideas about what that landscape could mean. With a Bay lexicon, part of the book is a field guide to the constructed shoreline of San Francisco. And so it uses drawing and annotation to say, okay, here's what you see with your eyes, and here are other things that would be interesting to know about that you might not see with your eyes, but that are there. And then those drawings and investigations are the basis for a lexicon of words we think we know. I think it's hard to recognize what we can't name. And so the vocabulary we use, whether it's visual or verbal vocabulary, to look at the world around us, has a big impact on what we're able to see, hear, perceive, understand.
So much of her work is about non-designers having agency, about designers helping people that are not necessarily, doing design professionally, to really understand where they are and really make the connections between, let's say water or ecosystems.
Agency depends on advocacy, right? You don't have agency until you can argue for something. And argument depends on vocabulary. So if your vocabulary doesn't do justice to the complexity of the place you live in, how can you be an effective advocate or an effective agent?
Jane provokes us to really understand what it means to design for the future. And is it really the professional designers that should be doing the work, or should it be more in collaboration with communities?
When I work with Jane, I see someone who's very open to questioning and really thinking through other knowledge paradigms about relationships to the land. So that is what I think makes her a really great designer, someone who really understands land literacy. So her land literacy now is being informed by Indigenous understandings of land literacy.
All the threads in my work came together in the Toronto Landscape Observatory, when I invited people with special knowledge to think and talk with biennial visitors about the meaning and the future of a part of the city that's changing.
SALA is not only eager but invigorated by the opportunity to bring Jane's work, her perspective, her personality back to our community and to work with us and can interact with our students in ways that only the Margolese Prize could enable.
And I think what a lot of my work has been about, and what I know it's going to continue to be about, and what the Margolese Prize supports, is that we really have to understand ourselves as part of a web of relationships among all the human and more than human beings and forces and processes and phenomena that make a place. The more vivid and rich and informed and thoughtful and open to questioning our vocabulary is now for what's right out there today, the more nuanced and rich and thoughtful will be the things we imagine.